before. In the beginning there was nothing, not even nothing, no thing for longer than we can fathom, a nothing that lasts forever, forever times forever, and then one day, suddenly, for no apparent reason, boom, everything. Carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, gases, solids, planets, earths, microbes, microbiomes, fish, raptors, chickens, dolphins, platypi, Australopithecus, mankind, and all our cousins that we screwed and slaughtered, agriculture, nation-states, ownership, slavery, freedom, the written language, industrialization, the printing press, chatbooks, and the internet. And somewhere in the midst of all of that, you and I were set on a collision course to this moment. Alright, so that's the first poem and everything defenestrated. I'm going to jump back into Octothorpe and She Divines. These are both published through me and Ryan's little thing we do, the Beautiful Blasphemy art group.
Press?
Press? I guess you'd call it press. We don't charge for these, so the ones that, you can, all those books up there are free, and you can sign up for everything defenestrated and we'll let you know when it comes out. So this is from Octothorpe, where all the poems are about our interaction with the internet and where it meets real life. Upload me to the mushroom cloud. When I pass on, do me one last courtesy and delete me from your phone. Unfriend, unfollow, block me if you must. I do not want to be a spirit haunting your social media feed. My final selfie staring through you into the deepest part of your soul. Did his eyes just move? You bet they did. Delete me! I don't... You can keep my streaming service subscriptions if you want to keep paying for them. But get rid of my profiles, would you? I promise I won't be needing them. And don't fill my timeline with peace for me to rest in. There is no rest or peace in all those unchecked notifications. No one needs to be reminded of my absence, and I do not need the guilt of your questions, the whys and hows and introspections. Let me tell you right now so you don't have to anguish. There was nothing you could do. There was no way you could stop it. Time is relentless and cruel and ends for us all eventually. We all expire, go bad, spoil, and become something rotten in the earth or cooked into dust to be littered in some lake. We all go somewhere or nowhere eventually and leave behind someone Googling the stages of grief, refreshing a blog that will never be updated again, searching past tweets for omens or instructions on building a time machine. There is no such thing. So please don't. Just let me be forgotten, and maybe, in time, forgiven too. Alright, comments disabled. There is blood in the comment section today, and the anonymous trolls can smell it. Behind their masks, they lick their lips in anticipation of a meal. With their crudely crafted clubs, they stroll toward the battlefield. There is blood in the comment section today, and the social justice warriors can smell it. But from behind their laptops, between sips of artesian coffee, they crack their knuckles and prepare for war. Armed with citations and the righteous indignation of a proper education, they charge toward the battlefield. There's blood in the comment section today, and the alt-right Western chauvinists can smell it. From behind their wall of hate and snark, they chant and stomp and growl. Armed with observation and the righteous indignation of a real-world education, they march toward the battlefield. There's blood in the comment section today, and the swarm of Russian drones can smell it. They live in the battlefield, hiding behind real American faces. They pick at the open wound, ensuring it never has a chance to scab over. There is blood in the comment section today, and your next-door neighbor can smell it. From behind his laptop, he stews in anger, armed with his tinfoil hat, his AR-15, and the righteous indignation of a fundamental education. He stalks toward a school, a movie theater, a church. There is blood in all of America's holy places, and you can smell it too. Still, you can't stop refreshing. With each reply, you see the line between your enemy and his argument thinning to a thread, and you wonder what effect this will have on Thanksgiving. I'm really proud of all these poems in this collection. Aging Millennial Blues, and this is the last one I'll read from Octothorpe, and then I'll move on to a different one. My feet ache. My back aches, My heart aches from this overtime. 50 hours this week, still won't make ends meet, let alone put a dent in my debt, but the boomers I work with won't let me forget that my generation got participation trophies. Oh, please spare me. I can't even with you, so I won't. I'm entitled. You get to retire. I don't. And I've been 34 years in these bones, and it's going to take 79 more to pay off these student loans, and I'm still beating my feet against a concrete floor, still breaking myself and asking for more, still scraping by with the help of a roommate, my parents, and a side hustle or four, but I'm getting too old for this. For all this running around, I can't play. Crap's different now. I don't even know the game anymore. People selling stuff on Facebook now. What happened to eBay? Or word of mouth? The heck is a Snapchat? This is Cash App. I can't keep up. I've been out. Phones are all touch screens now. I can't even fit them in my pocket. What is this? Man, I miss my sliding keyboard. This next poem, I'm only going to read like one or two from this one. This is She Defines My Fortune Through Playing Cards. It's probably the most like personal pieces I've ever written, or ever published, rather. But the whole idea is that somebody reading me a tarot deck, reading me a tarot with playing cards, and each poem has something to do with, is the title of the thing, but it's also something to do with my past or my childhood or this, that, or the other thing. Okay, so this one's Jack of Hearts. Oh Jack, your soul is so old, but your heart is not done curing yet. What a mess. You've got blood on your sleeves, Jack. Put it back in your chest. Keep it safe, Jack. Keep it warm. You still got years before it's ready to beat for someone like this. It's trying too hard. It's cute, but it's not. Tonight is not the night, Jack. This is not the place or the time, and she is not the girl. I promise you this, Jack. I promise you, you'll know when it is right. You'll know when it is true. Jack, you will know the cards. They have told me so. And then the Joker. All right. There must be some way out of here. You will ponder this with your head bowed, eyes closed, your hands folded in the shape of prayer. As the preacher woman drones on about damnation, you will be reminded of stargazing as a kid, and hoping that one day you would grow up to be a space cowboy. When you imagined yourself as an adult, you were riding a rocket ship like a noble steed, galloping across the night sky, wrangling the stars into your own constellations. You knew, even then, that was the genre of fantasy. That some things are impossible, like bringing the stars together or predicting the future. You know that the stars are billions of light years away from us and each other. You know that the future isn't fixed or within our grasp. But you still also know what it feels like to make believe. But that in this house, but in that house you won't feel like this. It won't feel good. You'll feel sick with worry that someone will see right through you. See the atheist hiding behind the skin of a believer, find the wolf in sheep's clothing. And you chase it away with torches and pitchforks. You'll wonder what about being a wolf makes you inherently bad. And that if there is a God, and they made your brain wrong somehow, why? And if change is even possible, how? No matter how many times you beg for salvation, you will feel nothing. No revelation, no love for some indescribable higher power, no life-changing affirmation. Time and time again, just you, alone in your head, like always before and always after. You will think sometimes that if there is a God, he or she might be akin to a lunatic Batman villain, laughing at this world in all its relentless confusion and heartbreak, giving itself no relief, taking itself so serious. There must be some way out of here. An illuminated exit sign will offer it frequently, but you will be too kind to leave all these sheep alone under the eye of a crooked shepherd without a wolf around to protect them. Well, so back to Everything to Finish rated. I'm really proud of this collection too. Time is a funny thing. The days drag on and the weeks fly by in a blur. The years will come faster and faster as yesterdays begin to compress into decades of blurred and fragmented memories, and even these eventually become debris in the wake of time's relentless march forward. I wonder what Earth looks like from the point of view of a comet, sprinting toward us, just two celestial bodies fated for collision just 20 billion tomorrows from now. I think about humanity in those early days and how we suddenly went from hunting wild beasts with sticks and stones to hunting pizza with mobile phones. From gathering in caves and makeshift huts to watch fire flicker and make children, to gathering on couches and living rooms to binge watch Netflix and make children. I look up at the sky, all of the stars, and think how many of those died long ago, and how long will it take for us to get the memo? And despite all of this, I fail to stop myself from looking down. Nothing has changed. Not a minute slips by as I sit here and fidget, awaiting your reply. So I had my wife go through and star the ones she wanted me to read. I don't know why she wants to cry, but she starred this one. It's called Happy Poem.
It's a lie.
If I died unexpectedly, perhaps in a plane lost at sea, or a 20-car pileup, or a natural disaster, I hope the last thing my thumbs tapped out before I did was something like, "I love you so much." Smile. This is a happy poem. If the sun swallowed the world tomorrow, I'd want your hand to be the last thing I'll ever hold as we stand on the end, we stand at the very end of everything we'll ever know. We'll embrace oblivion together. Smile. This is a happy poem. If I am the luckiest man in the world, which I think I may quite possibly be, and I get to pass from old age in a bed surrounded by our makeshift circus of a family, I'd want my last words to be a horrible pun. I want the last thing I'll see to be you rolling your eyes and reluctantly cracking a smile. See, this is a happy poem. All right. Ode to the Fair Kids. It's like I go to a meal fair every year, and my wife was on cast, and all those people are really special to me, so that's what this poem's about. You wild children, you melodious, spontaneous, sporadic disasters, you fraternity of manic pixie dreamers, you multi-amorous polyphiles, you mud beggars and kings. You peasants and fairies, queers and freaks, fire eaters and geeks, you thespians, lesbians, cross-dressing, cosplaying, gender-swapping Shakespearean tragedies. You and your misbegotten follies. You and your circle of harmonious cacophony, you and your sun-saluting, tongue and body twisting, incestuous, dysfunctional family, playing out this everlong battle on a chessboard, risking heat stroke for the limelight. You full moon howling, kind-hearted lunatics, sharing souls, bowls, and beds, heart and drum beat, pounding it at your chests, daring to leap into the audience, breaking the fourth wall. You mug-raising, weep-along singers, you gyrating gypsies and plundering pirates, kilted and corseted, breathtaking and breathless. Here's to you, friends and companions. Fare thee well, merrymakers, until we meet again. This one's about my dad. How did I get this old, he wonders. This morning he glances too long in the bathroom mirror, and on the other side glimpses the old man he'd never dreamed he'd become. He spends a moment reflecting upon the reflection, inspecting his tattered temple for signs of life. A dull ache has settled a home in his bones. The weight of excess years has gathered at his core and begun to pull him downward to earth. His back on a good day transcribes telegraphs from a distant pulsing star. Time has been both generous and brutal. The slow tectonic shifting of his skin has warped the shape of his artful scars, just like his mama said it would. The heart on his right arm has a thick black ribbon wrapped around it, the names of all his children listed under in order of their birth. Read his ink in layers like tree rings or sedimentary rock. Under that ribbon is the name of his second wife. Under the heart, farther back in time, is his first, a crude marijuana leaf scratched into his arm with a homemade tattoo gun. His body has for years been a temple ruined by many vices and vocations. He has permanent bags under his eyes and a beer belly. His feet beat for decades against hard factory wars. His heart beat for decades for even harder women. A knock on the door snaps him back into now. "Daddy, are you done yet? I gotta pee." "No," he replies with a smile, more directed at the old man on the other side of the mirror than the young boy at the other side of the door. "Not yet." This one's called Guillotine. Like any respectable Rube Goldberg apparatus, it started with something small, snowballing down a steepening decline towards something like a precariously stacked Jenga tower. Upon collision, taking out a fundamental block, springing forth the inevitable collapse. Tugging on a screen that turns a cog, that flips a switch, that strikes a match, that bursts a flame, that licks a rope, that holds the sharpened blade of the guillotine at bay. We were 3 sheets into a 3 a.m. conversation at a party that had just passed the crossroads between pass out or drag ass the next morning. We climbed the ladder and sat on the roof.